Howdy guys, it's Rick Nusky, and I couldn't help myself. I'm supposed to be technically having a day off, but like I said, I couldn't help myself. I have to do a review of a piece of software that I actually have two accounts with. And the reason I have two accounts is because at the time of this recording, I was able to get 2 lifetime offers. Now, I'm not sure that when you see this video that will still be available, but if it is, I'd certainly jump on it, and I'll explain to you why in this video. Aside from that, if you can't get access to this next piece of software as a lifetime offer, it will be a monthly subscription. But nevertheless, I believe it's a very powerful solution if you're looking for a WordPress compatible shopping cart that does far more than you could have ever imagined. In fact, it caught me by surprise, and I have experience with a large number of different shopping carts and interfaces that work with WordPress. So I'm amazed by this piece of software. It's called ThriveCart, and you can find it at thrivecart.com. And if you do a search around the web and you have ThriveCart, you type in ThriveCart lifetime offer, you may still find the offer available. So I'd suggest you do that. It's not going to be cheap, but it's going to be far cheaper than purchasing it on a subscription base. And that's obviously based on how much revenue and turnover you're making in your business. But if you're looking for something that is exceptionally powerful, I would recommend you definitely have a look at ThriveCart. And let me show you more about it. We'll flip over the screen and we'll get into it. Now, this is what it looks like on the home page of ThriveCart. It's pretty clean. I actually found this through a membership that I'm involved with as a special offer. As I mentioned just a minute ago, if you were to do a search, Google search on ThriveCart lifetime offer, it may be that you stumble across it, and if you do, I definitely recommend that you pull out your credit card and buy it. I'm in no way affiliated with ThriveCart. I'm not promoting it as such, but I am promoting it from a perspective of software solutions that can help your business, because part of what my future business does is we focus on software as a solution, software as a service solutions that could help your business. So let's just jump into it. Once you sign in here, this is the interface that you'll see. This is a brand new copy of ThriveCart. Now, this has got nothing in there in terms of products or upsells or anything of that nature. But what you do is, first of all, you can find out exactly what's going on in terms of your account-wide revenues, transaction numbers, how many refunds you're getting, total customers, and you can do live stats and test stats. So very much like you would see in something like Stripe, you have the ability to check your configurations and your APIs and any integrations that you've done, or HTML form code, which is something I want to sort of mention right now, is that if you don't have a full autoresponder service, and you're using something like a Digital Access Pass, where you're using their inbuilt email autoresponder code, you can actually use that raw HTML form code and have ThriveCart trigger email sequences inside your Digital Access Pass, just as you would be able to with any mainstream autoresponder service. So that was something that was important for us, and I stumbled across this, and I'll show you a little bit more about it as we go through. This was probably be a bit longer video, but I think it's well worth your while just to give you a really good insight into why I believe you should have this. You have your products tab, your upsells tab. So once you've created the product, let's just look at this as an untitled product. You can create your first product, all right, and then you can create an upsell. I think there's up to 5 upsells you can do in the sequence. Then you can do downsells as well, and then you can do split testing of product A versus product B. As soon as I saw this, I started getting very excited about the potential of this for my business. And, if you look at it from a digital products perspective, digital products perspective only, this is going to change the way you look at your business in terms of increasing your profit per transaction or your revenue per transaction. So if you go into your stats, so by product, you can see the same sort of stats, but it gives you running totals per product at this level. Once you've had a look at that, you can create sales funnels. So do you want to attach upsells to this product? So if you do, it actually has this feature where you can turn on 2-click upsell buttons. Now, this is to reduce the potential for refunds. It'll reduce conversions because it actually stops the customer from actually clicking accidentally and saying later on, oh, look, I didn't really mean to do this. I didn't want to purchase this. I did it by mistake. And then you get these chargebacks, which is not great for your which is not great for your accounts with Stripe and PayPal and the likes. They don't like to see that sort of thing in their last questions. So this is definitely something I recommend that you have, is your two-click upsell button. Now, this is where I integrate with Digital Access Pass, and you can integrate it straight with them quite easily. And this is a huge reason why I jumped on board, because that's the membership script that we use. And to be one in the top 4 that are integrating with it straight off the bat tells you something about Digital Access Pass. So if you don't have Digital Access Pass or any one of these other membership scripts, definitely have a look at Digital Access Pass. Now, payment gateways, you can set them up. At the moment, there are only 2. And, PayPal is a huge one, because at the end of the day, you look at what people are doing. They're using PayPal. They look at other things, other options like eWay, which is an Australian platform. And if you look at the knowing factor, what do you know about eWay? I mean, they are becoming more popular, but if you think PayPal, how many people don't know PayPal that are purchasing online? And a very similar situation for Stripe. Stripe is one of the well-known payment processors, and from what I'm hearing in the blog, which is behind Thrive Carts, there are more options coming soon. So that's pretty exciting news. Autoresponders, we can look here. Now, this is where you can integrate with a whole host of different email autoresponders, including what I've just talked about with Digital Access Pass and their raw form code. So if you don't have one of these, like a Active Campaign or a Infusionsoft or a HubSpot or any of the other ones that are listed here, Ontraport, which are quite costly, you can use the form code inside of Digital Access Pass, which is already inbuilt in there. So you can save yourself a fair bit of cash per year by not having to get another autoresponder service. Now, if having this ability to tag and segregate your email list based on their actions is important for you, then maybe you want to still integrate this part of the service. But for us, we don't need to do that. We have a simple model that takes them through one particular path. Now, your membership platforms, I've just mentioned that. Webinar platforms, this is pretty amazing. I know that there are some more coming. So, if you have a need to charge for your webinars, this is where you can integrate it, and even have a full Kunaki fulfillment service, where if you're selling DVDs or books, you can get them physically shipped using Kunaki. Now, I'm not absolutely sure if Kunaki fulfills deliveries in Australia. We're an Australian-based business focusing on the needs of Australian businesses. But that being said, if you're elsewhere, United States or places that Kunaki operates, there's a particular value in that, I'm sure. Now, APIs and webhooks, this is really about sending information. Basically, to keep it very basic, is about sending triggers and content and information to say a certain action has been taken by one of your purchases, and it will send information to somewhere else that has been integrated with it. And in this case, you've got your Thrive API and Webhooks notification, but we won't go too much into that. This is very much just the overview. Interestingly, this can set the tax reports for your local area, which is really quite useful if you have to charge goods and services tax. And moving on to the next one, you have a blacklist for particular IPs or computer addresses and email addresses from making purchases. You might have problems with certain people, and you don't want them to interact with your Thrive carts any longer for whatever reason. That's where you would do it. So if we go back to this home page, going to edit product, inside you'll create a title of your product. Now make sure it's descriptive so you understand what it is, and when you change this, you'll notice something down below. It changes the checkout page URL. So when you set up an account, you'll have to choose what you want your account to be named. So it'll be end up being something like thrivecart.com, or in our case, onlineorders.thrivecart.com, and then we'll have /test for this particular payment. So it's pretty good like that. It's pretty easy to use. You can limit the number of items somebody purchases from you, and you can test it. So you can when you're setting it up with the likes of PayPal or Stripe, you can actually go through the test mode to see whether or not Thrivecart is actually talking to Stripe and PayPal. Now this is where you can choose one or the other. Okay, so in this case, you've actually got Apple Pay as well. So that's pretty cool for Apple product users. So we won't go through too much of that. That's pretty self-explanatory. But what you will need to do is obviously have a PayPal account or a Stripe account or an Apple Pay account, so that you can use whatever one you choose. Now this is about fulfillment. So you'll have to provide an email address where people can contact you should they have any questions or concerns about the transaction. Now, when you do this, this is where we put our form code in for integration between our membership or email autoresponder sequences. And you can go in and customize your customer's receipt that they'll receive via email. In there, you can digitally, you can automatically calculate sales tax, which helps a lot of people out. You want to put a bump in the offer. So what this is, you'll see this little tag with all your details in this, depending on what you change here, in the top right-hand side of your checkout page, which is really, really quite good at increasing the value per transaction that you make. The checkout pages at the moment, they have 4 checkout pages. They have the tool one-step page, which is dedicated to its own page. The 2-step, which is where you click the continue button, it'll give a pop-up. Oh, this one here, sorry, is the pop-up one. This one here is the 2-step checkout. So we go to another page, whereas this one does a similar thing, but just pops up. And this is one that really is, caught my eye a lot. And we'll just sort of go into this one just to check it out. You can take the code once it's finished and actually embed it into your WordPress page, so that you can have a video sales letter after your webinar that people go to, and down the bottom of it, without them having to click away from that page, you can have this checkout page sitting at the bottom of your sales video or sales letter, and it's there on the same page, which again, the less clicks, the more likely people are to see the offer and take action on it. You can set countdown timers, which is really, really cool, because not only can you set a countdown timer, you can say to them, sorry, you missed out on this offer on a specific date, or a period of time after first visit is one we use. And this is true scarcity. It says that if you miss this offer, you're going to be redirected to a page, whatever that is, and you simply won't be able to see that offer. And you actually see that at the top of the strip up the top of this page. Requested fields, that'll add additional information that you might need or to fulfill the order. So if we look at it, business name, email address, telephone number, and so forth. And when you do that actually updates the records of their receipt as well, and they get all that updated information. Buy buttons, pretty much for muchness. You can add testimonials in these fields up here and down here, depending on which type of checkout page template you're using. So it's fully customizable, but yet it's so simple to use. But it's just amazingly powerful. So when they've purchased, you can either send them to an inbuilt customizable success page, which is the one you see here, which is the one we use. And then that way, again, they just stay on that same sales page. They make their purchase, and I think it's Ajax code that allows the page just to refresh without, go to the success page on the same page where your videos are, so that they have this seamless experience without having to be redirected and waiting. And if they've got poor internet speed, then it might hang or whatever. Or you can have them go to a custom page that you want them to go to. That might be what you want them to do. Now, this is the bit that really got me excited, is that not only can you add your own tracking, Google, Google Analytics, you could have Bing ads, UET, remarketing, tracking, remarketing for Google AdWords, AdTrack's Gold code, whatever codes you want in here. You can track any particular part of your sales funnel from here. So if you're not using tracking, I highly suggest that you start using tracking ASAP. Now, watch this. Select the service you wish to set up a rule for. So when a customer actually purchases a product, you can set them up. And this is where I was talking about earlier, using the HTML form code from Digital Access Pass, which is just an email form code, that submit this HTML form to add them to my list. So soon as they make the purchase, bang, their details trigger an email sequence that follows them up. And it could be just like a single email, it could be a sequence of emails that progressively talks to them about other things, whatever you want it to be. So quite powerful stuff to take notice of. If they refund the main product, another one. Now, this is one that I use a lot. If somebody gets to the shopping cart and they've punched in their details, but for whatever reason they get distracted, or they have a second thought and they leave and abandon the cart by closing the window, again, you can put in your email autoresponder code to trigger a follow-up email sequence that says, hey, look, I noticed that you were on the checkout page, but for some reason you didn't go forward with the purchase. Would you mind telling us why? And here's the link to return if it was a mistake. So you can have that rule added to the experience as well. Emails to be sent when a payment is declined, and bump offers and refunds to the bump offer. So once you have all of that, you would click here, or in this case you can't because it's not actually completed, and a pop-up window would appear with all of the code, and you would take that code and into your WordPress website, and you would use an HTML editor. If you've got a WYSIWYG editor, which is pretty much drag and drop, you can just drop the code in there, design your page, design your video, make it look pretty, and away you go. So really, there are actually more things, and I should show you them before we leave. You can set up coupons so that you can have people, incentivize people for taking up offers. And one of the things I failed to mention was that you can set your product up. For example, you can do trials for $1, let's just say, and then they can get 30 days for a trial. Then after that 30-day trial, if you set it to subscription, or they can pay their own price or split pay. Let's say they want to do a subscription. So you say $1 today, as the example, every month, and the subscription price might be $97. So there is that 13-day trial period, and you can set the number of rebills. So it'll even tell you your customer's going to be charged $1 today for the trial, and then $97 a month thereafter. So all your subscription payments are taken care of automatically. It's if you can't see the power in this by now, and you're somebody who wants to take transactions online in a secure way, if you're not excited by now, you need to have a closer look at Thrive Carts to make a better decision. Create your first coupon. If you want to incentivize them, you could put in for whatever it is and disable it, a percentage off a price or a fixed price off. And which autoresponders you want to send it to, you could actually send it to them as an incentivized offer in your email autoresponder sequence, and it's all driven between your autoresponder and Thrive Cart. Then you have your customer list. Again, not forgetting that this is a fresh install, so there's nothing happening in here. And then you've got obviously your settings, and which is these tabs. Simple interface, easy to use. Like anything, there's a learning curve to it, but it's reasonably easy to get your head around. I hope you enjoyed this short video. I hope it was informative for you. If you have any questions, leave a comment below or contact us at myfuturebusiness.com/contact, and I'll be happy to help you out.